Okay, and welcome to Generation Catalano. It's October, like, what is it, David? October.
October 11th.
Alright, it's October 11th, and we think this is episode 5.
Yeah.
Um, Anyways, since our last episode, it's been a lot of time since then, so the 3DS XL was announced and launched, and
hmm
David's got that.
Yeah, I actually managed to get me one. I don't think I got it launch day. I don't remember actually, but I
Yeah,
got me the red one, the red and black one.
cool.
Of course, they only came out with the two colors, the blue and black and the red and black. And I think I think when I went there to go get it, I think all they had was the red and black one. And I went in thinking that they had just a solid black, but I guess, um, which is weird that they wouldn't have like a just a solid black model, but whatever. The guy said no, they don't have the black versions. They just have red and black and blue and black,
Yeah,
and
it
so
was
I don't
it was
know.
pretty confusing with Nintendo's like announcements because they had all like different colors coming out for different regions. So
hmm
I know for me, I was once that thing came out in America, I was completely lost. I was like, which colors did we get?
Yeah, and yeah, and now they're coming out with all they like they always do. They're already coming out with all kinds of crazy like Pikachu ones over in Japan, and all kinds of really cool ones. And I think there's like a special Monster Hunter edition one that they're releasing as a bundle with Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, which we'll talk about later. But it's it is pretty like weird how they're just not doing that here. Those things would sell really easily, I believe. But
hmm
yeah, they're just doing the blue and red ones. I don't
hmm
know if they're planning on doing the black ones or what they're doing with that.
Yeah,
But
you wanted the red one anyways, right? You usually
well,
it's one of your favorite colors, maybe.
yeah, I mean, red was my like next choice because I went in wanting to get a black one, but since there was only red and blue, I went with red because I like red,
hmm
and the red and black uh, color scheme is pretty cool. But there's nothing really black about it other than the inside of it.
Yeah,
But
they want to have the black border around the screen to try to help probably with the 3D effect or some crap.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I know that the two screens are a lot bigger. It really is a lot like having a handheld console.
Yeah, that's the one thing about it that I love is the screens are really big, and it's really brings out the visuals on the games.
hmm
Like for instance, I also have New Super Mario Bros. 2, and that's a pretty fun game. Um,
That's nice.
and when I play that on this 3DS XL, it's looks so amazing. It's literally like playing like you have a Wii right there in your hands. If not, like it almost looks a little better than Wii, but it's just
hmm
like right there in your hands. It's like nothing else you really need other than this thing. It seems.
Yeah, and I know the drawing applications are a lot better because that bottom screen is pretty big.
hmm Yeah, the bottom screen was also pretty huge. I think it's probably bigger than the top screen on the 3DS. Um,
Yeah.
so that thing's pretty amazing, and like the 3D on it also works pretty damn well. Um, but yeah, and pretty much everything about it seems pretty awesome. I like how the only thing though that I like to point out is
hmm
that the stylus is not stereoscopic. You know, it's just your regular uh, piece of plastic, but it's pretty big. It's a pretty huge stylus.
Right, it's not
Um,
adjustable like the original
no,
3DS's.
no, which was kind of a letdown, but
Well,
that's
have
fine.
you ever really used the 3DS stylus when it's like in its like short mode or whatever?
No, not really. It's so that's why it's not really a huge deal. But it was pretty interesting though, just to have that thing like
Yeah,
you can either have it like stretched out or you can just have it like micro-sized.
yeah, and
It's
it
like,
was good for like, sometimes you're playing a game and for some reason they just require you to use the touch screen, so you could just pull out the short little stylus, use it real quick, and then be done with it.
hmm
Um, yeah, so that was pretty cool about that.
yeah, and it seems like another little thing I want to point out is
Hmm.
there's like three different clicking positions for the hinge
Right.
on the 3DS. I know you've noticed it too, where it's like it when you first open it, it goes almost at like a 105-degree angle, which is very like
Mm.
weird how it like folds out so small
Yeah, I
at the
noticed
first
that.
part,
It's almost
and then the
like,
second click is like the normal opening
hmm
for it.
right. Um,
But
it also,
that works
what?
good because I have that Mario clock app on my 3DS, and I like to just use my 3DS as a clock.
Yeah,
So like that works well because I could just open it and it's like a clock just sitting right there or whatever.
yeah,
So
and you need a clock app now because they took away the alarm clock for some dumbass reason. They took that
yeah,
out of the menus.
that's really dumb.
Yeah, and the 3DS XL comes with a 4 gigabyte SD card, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It also comes with a 4 gig stick or SD card.
Yeah,
But
same thing.
yeah, that's cool how they put so much storage space right in there for you, and it's almost like they are promoting their thing about downloading games now.
Yeah,
And
since I know Nintendo said since New Mario Bros. 2, every first party game is going to be day and date download.
hmm yeah, that's pretty awesome because I did download New Super Mario Bros. 2. I
Hmm.
made sure to do that, and I do like that how I just have it right there on my. I don't carry around the 4 gig stick or the 4 gig SD card anymore. I gave that to my brother, but I have a 32 gig SD card
Mm.
now, so I have lots of storage space on my 3DS, and I just have a new Super Mario Bros. 2 sitting on there, and it's pretty nice to just have that instantly right there, no
Yeah.
matter like what kind of game I have in my 3DS at that moment. So,
Hmm. Speaking of 3DS games, you have that Kingdom Hearts game too, don't you?
yeah, I got a Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. That was a pretty fun game, and actually, like one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts games so far was that
Hmm.
game. Other than I think Birth by Sleep, that was on the PSP. I thought that was pretty good.
Hmm.
But this really looks really amazing. Um, it looks better than Kingdom Hearts 2, in my opinion. And it seems
Yeah.
like they did a lot with the story's pretty awesome. I like how you get to play through as Sora and Riku, and
Hmm.
um, it's really good.
Do
Um,
Now I know in that type of game, there's like a leveling system and everything. Uh,
hmm
um, what? Do you know if there's a level cap or anything like that?
um, I don't know. I haven't really gotten that high
Yeah.
in levels. I'm probably like around level 50 or something
Does
on
Riku
that.
and Sora share the level thing?
No, they have their own levels, but they pretty much stay balanced with each other. Although I do believe I'm higher with Riku than I am with Sora, but
Hmm.
that's because is. Towards the end, I think Riku has a little bit more story than Sora, but I could be wrong about that. But it
Mhm.
was
Yeah, I could
um,
see. I mean, I could assume that they would probably try to put more extreme type of stuff going on with Riku, while Sora is more like, hey, we're friends and stuff, like just like more of the fluffy crap, while Riku's more
yeah,
like intense, crazy kind of stuff.
yeah. Um, Also, the Dream Eaters that are in the game, they're
Hmm.
basically like these. I know a lot of people like to compare them to like Pokemon or whatever,
Yeah,
but
it seemed that way.
yeah, they are like animals or whatever that you carry around with you, and they can get certain special like abilities or whatever that you can unlock with them to
Mm.
advance your character as well. Um, and That's pretty fun messing with those things. Even if you're not battling with them in the game, you can still like train them, and like you can go into this mode where you can like pet them, and you can like take pictures of with them like dancing around on say like your desk or something,
Hmm.
or like on someone's head or something. Depends on whatever you're doing, but
Right.
you can take all kinds of cool pictures where they're just like dancing around, and you can like feed them things to make their
That's
stats
cool.
better. And
Yeah, it's like a Tamagotchi or a Chow Garden.
yeah, basically. And they have quite a bit different types of animals in that, different dream eaters.
Hmm.
Um, but I
Well,
know later
what
on it
do
gets
you have a
pretty
favorite,
crazy.
or I mean, do you have one like Dream Eater monster that you're really working on?
Um, I don't I don't know. I don't really have like a favorite one, but some of the later ones you get are pretty ridiculous. Like you can get like a T-Rex,
Hmm.
like a freaking like this T-Rex following you. It's like pretty huge, and you can get
Hmm.
like a you can also get like a dragon, which is pretty
Um,
awesome. I don't think I've gotten the dragon yet. I've been working on trying to get him,
is
but
is the monster or the little monster guys? Is that always your like third party member?
yeah, they're your Donald and Goofy in this game.
Uh,
Um, they you can choose two of them, of course,
mm,
and they follow you around, and as they're following you, they can give you different types of like boosts and stuff like onto your stats, and you can unlock abilities by leveling them up and stuff. Um,
cool.
but Yeah, they're like your Donald and Goofy, and they level up just as well like that. You know how you go through the game, they'll level up as you level up, and even you could actually have a third one that it doesn't follow you, but it's like in in reserve, almost like if you're having a party member from that specific world. I know like back in the day it was like Jack Skellington or whatever. You could also choose to follow you, but
Yeah, in
that
the
would be like
specific
the
worlds, yeah. When you get
yeah
a specific, most of the time it's a Disney character that can be added to your party.
yeah. It's not specifically towards that world. The Stream Eater,
Uh huh.
you can carry it around, wherever you go, but yeah, you could have two different ones follow you and have another one like in reserve or whatever, and he'll level up as well
But
if he's
but if he's in reserve, is he at all out on like the battlefield?
not unless you switch him out
Oh, okay.
with another one of your guys. But but you can also that doesn't like stop it there because that's just an easy like switcheroo like on the touch screen. You're like, oh, I'll
Mhm.
just switch him out with this one. But you can also go into the party, the start menu or whatever, and then go to your
Mhm.
party, and you could just mess with your party there. And then you have the choice of all those other Dream Eaters that you've got
To put
sitting
in
with
the
you.
reserve slot.
Yeah, or switch with your other party members and all that.
Mhm.
So it's uh it's basically just you have all your little Pokemon there in your thing,
Mhm.
and
See, yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to play a lot of new games. I've just been playing the usual crap like Minecraft. But
Hmm.
you've been back on FF11, and how's
Yeah,
that been
yeah.
going?
Yeah, I started back up on Final Fantasy 11. Um, Basically, the only reason why is just because I don't know. I missed that
Well,
game, so I wanted to get back on there and
yeah.
mess around. And I gotten pretty freaking far um, since I got back on there. I believe I was like around level 37 with my Dark Knight when I got on there, and then now I'm like level 60, either 60 or 65. I don't remember. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get to 65.
Have you
But
been getting to any new territories in that game? Because
um,
I've also played that game a lot. Well, and the highest level I've got to was something like 40 maybe or 36 or something. But
yeah.
I know at the higher levels you end up going to some pretty cool areas. Have you seen any new areas?
I haven't really gone anywhere completely new. Um, let's see. I know. Well, actually, yeah, I guess I have. I've gone to the crawler's nest or whatever, which isn't really like anything spectacular because
Mm-hmm.
it's literally an area that's within Rolandberry Fields, which is right outside of Juneau. You just go into Rolandberry Fields, and then there's like this cave sitting in there. You can go in, and you'll. It's basically just a little cave with bugs crawling around. You'll find like there's a bunch of like caterpillars and wasps that
Mm-hmm.
are in there, and that's what we basically fight when we go in there to party. They got this thing going on where it always seems like there's a huge alliance going on in that crawler's nest, and people just they run into that cave. More than likely, they'll just get right into that party if they're looking to party. And then people will just invite them in, and then they'll get their time in fighting the thing,
Is
fighting the caterpillars and the wasps,
uh,
and then
that's
people just go in and drop out, and it's a
mhm.
continuous freaking party. It seems, um,
Yeah,
but
that's interesting that such a popular camp in the game would just be just the caterpillars and dragonflies and stuff like that.
yeah, and it helped me level up quite a bit. Although now that I think I'm past level 60, I think I'm going to need to find like a new area to go to level up. Although there's the ice area that's above Sandaria, Zarkabard or whatever it's called. That place is pretty scary. There's like
Hmm.
skeletons everywhere and like really like crazy monsters that are like around level 60 and 70 around there.
Uh,
That can like they can still kill me pretty easily even when
um,
I go out there, but I
don't
think I'll have to
don't
be
you
making
have to
my way
go
out
through
there.
a cave similar to when you're trying to get to Quiffum Island? There's like a cave where you'll almost always end up dead because there's like those what is it, like floating weapons or something around,
Hmm.
and there's also
Yeah,
bats, and there's like the skeletons that come out at night.
yeah, I believe so. I think there's a cave system that connects the two areas. I don't really remember because I have the outpost warp for
Mhm.
that area. I actually got that a long time ago on FF11. Somebody helped me out with getting that. Um,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
I can actually just teleport out there to Zerkabard now, that ice area. But usually there's evil eyes, which are these floating like cyclops things that float around.
Mm.
Those are pretty like tough. Um, there's also there's all kinds of freaking crazy things out there. They have the giants out there. And oh damn, they have these little they've got like these demon knights which look like these like demon warriors just like walking around with like swords and stuff. They're freaking crazy. Um, but I
Mm-hmm.
had to go out there actually for one of my limit break quests to get some things, and of course I have a link shell on there with some pretty cool level 99 members, and there's this one that likes to help me out a lot on there, um,
Cool.
and she helps me out on getting most of my limit breaks and all that. So um, yeah, it's pretty cool. I never imagined I would get up to such a high level, around like level 60 or so, but um,
Yeah.
it's
Um,
pretty awesome.
you only have one job that's up to that level, right?
Hmm.
Which is
Yeah,
Dark Knight.
my Dark Knight. Hmm.
Cool.
My other
what do you usually sub with that Dark Knight?
warrior, actually. Um,
Well,
uh,
what's the Warriors level? Is it
he's
maxed? Like I'm not sure if this is like the right way to put it, but is it maxed
mhm.
as a sub to your Dark Knight?
Yeah, it's I've got my warrior up to like level 40 something actually. So it's as far as I can go up to like level 80 something with my Dark Knight, and it'll still be half the level and everything like that. So my
Hmm.
warrior is all set for that. Um, Also, another job that I have around level 40 is my black mage, but that's about it for high
Hmm.
level jobs that I've got.
Yeah, I feel like interrupting here. This is like a call out to the listeners if anyone's actually listening to this episode.
Hmm.
We often play Final Fantasy XI, and I would
Hmm.
like any feedback if you guys want to hear us talk about FF11 for long periods of time or just to mention it just shortly.
Yeah, we could talk
Mhm.
about it like crazy on here. Like, we would like to hear whatever you wanna us to talk about. That would be awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can. Um,
Because, I mean, I know with a game like FF11, like you're saying, it's true. We can talk about it forever, but if someone hasn't played it or they're not into MMO games at all, like it might get pretty boring. So this is
yeah,
like a time where you listeners need to send some feedback if you don't like us talking too long about FF11.
yeah, and so yeah, it's been pretty awesome on there. Another thing I want to touch on is I did
Sure.
get my airship pass on that game, which
Cool.
is like a huge freaking milestone for me. Um, that was like one of my big things I wanted to get done on that game was to be able to ride those airships, and it's helped me out a lot in getting around. It's
Mm,
pretty
yeah.
fun doing that all the time.
Yeah, so you have the airships. You can just go to any other nations now with them.
Yeah. Hmm. And
That's great.
yeah, like if I'm sitting in Juneau or something, I'm like, oh, I need to go over to Santeria real quick. I'll just jump on the freaking airship. And it's really cool because that gives me sort of a break from the game just because of how the like, in case I need to go do something or something and I need to wait on the airship to come in, I'll just like sit there and idle until like, and
Yeah,
then go do whatever I need to do, and then the airship comes and I'll just jump on the ship.
yeah, I remember seeing that a lot at the airship like docks, where it's just people standing there, and oftentimes the airship comes and leaves without them because they
Yeah.
like fell asleep or forgot about the game.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I do like. I I know there's things like the outpost warps and such, which is awesome, but it's nice how Final Fantasy XI tries to keep things very like within the world or realistic in the world, and you
Mhm.
have to wait on the airship or wait on the boat, and
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
once the airship or boat comes to the dock, you have to get on it, and you actually have to sit and wait till it actually travels to that area.
Yeah. Exactly. That's pretty fun
And
though.
it's times like that is when things like the link shell and the chat system are like what that game can be about. Like,
Mhm.
you could sit there and like the good thing, one of the greatest things about FF11 is there's always something to do. So,
Yeah.
even if you are waiting on an airship or whatnot, you can be chatting with friends in the link shell, perhaps making appointments with them, like, hey, we should do this alliance later or
Mhm.
on this date or whatever. Or, you can always be messing around in the menus or trying to do crafting.
Yeah, and I always even see some people, they just pull out the fishing pole and they'll start fishing there or
Yeah,
whatever.
that
So,
too.
like, there's always something to do in that game. Even if
Hmm.
it's not battling or doing story missions or whatever, you can just basically do whatever you want.
Yeah. Um, I guess I wanted to ask you a little bit about Borderlands 2, because I know you
Hmm.
got that game.
Yep. I've got Borderlands 2. I don't. Yeah, I think I did. I think I got a launch date, which is interesting because I didn't have a pre-order for it, but I really wanted to get it because I play online with one of my online friends.
Hmm.
Me and her, we play it quite a bit. I guess to start off, like basically to say where we are on the game, like we literally last night we just hit the level 50 cap with our characters. So, of course, that already mentions that we are on our second playthrough through the game because once you go through the game and you beat the first playthrough, you'll be around like level 30 or so when you do that. But you have the choice to go through the second playthrough, or as they call it, true Vault Hunter mode, and then everything is basically
Hmm.
scaled to your level, and you basically start the game over at your same level with all your guns and everything, and you just go through the game again. Um, Although
Um,
we have not beaten the second playthrough yet, we've just gotten to the level cap. We're still working on completing the second playthrough, but that's pretty much where we are right now. We're very close to the end of the second playthrough.
when you play through it the second time, uh, does it play all the cutscenes just as it did the
Hmm.
first time?
Yeah, basically, it plays everything the same way as if you're playing through the first playthrough. It's
Uh-huh.
just the enemies are harder because they're scaled to your level, and
Hmm.
sometimes it seems like they're almost like at your level or higher sometimes. And even
Yeah.
because now that we're level 50, we're basically everything's going to be like level 49 or 50 that we fight. Although there's an enemy at the end of the not at the end of the game, but there's a ultimate enemy that everyone is able to fight. I know on the first Borderlands game it was a DLC that you had to
Hmm.
get to fight the ultimate enemy, but there's this ultimate enemy called Terramorphous in the game, which is supposed to be like the only thing I can think of right now would be like the Sephiroth of Kingdom Hearts or something like that. The ultimate enemy you're supposed to fight at the end.
Right.
He's going to be at least a couple levels higher than you. Um, we actually already tried fighting him at one point when we were at level like 30 or something like that, and he was like level 52. So we couldn't even like damage him at all. But it's basically this big worm thing that, or as they're called, threshers in the game. But he's basically the big boss thing that you fight at the end. He's supposed to be really tough, and I guess once you kill them, you get all kinds of really good stuff from them. But we're gonna. That's probably the next thing we're gonna try to work on is seeing what we can do against him. Um, but I don't know if I mentioned, but I am a Gunzerker class on that game. Is my main class, and that's a pretty fun class. I don't know
Hmm.
if you know much about Gunzerker, but his ability is he can pull out two guns at once, um, and you basically you can you go into this mode where you go into Gunzerk mode, and you pull out two guns, and you can your health can go up pretty quickly, and also you regenerate ammo pretty easily in that mode, and you can just like start shooting up everything with two guns. Um, and of course, the other gun is another gun that's in your inventory. It's not just some random gun or whatever. So,
Yeah, but in the like Gunzerker mode, hyper mode sounding thing, does is it kind of like a auto aim thing that'll happen? Like,
no, you basically just you go through it with just you can't really aim in over your sights or whatever. You just basically hold out two guns and you just like start like mowing down enemies with them or whatever, and just start shooting things up. You don't really aim with those guns if you've got two guns out. You
hmm
just have your crosshairs and you just move around like
and
shooting
and
stuff
you
up.
don't worry about ammo, right?
Not really, no, because it regenerates pretty quickly when
I
you're in that
see.
mode.
Is it do they handle it sort of like there's a ammo cooldown kind of thing? Like if you fire the gun too rapidly, do you have to wait for it to cool down?
No, they don't have anything like that. You just basically just keep shooting until you run out of ammo in the clip, and then you just reload. But then the ammo that you have overall, your ammo capacity, that keeps regenerating over and over. Like you'll just
Uh-huh.
regenerate ammo one by one by one. So that way you basically don't have to worry about ammo when you're in that mode. Um,
Mhm.
but
Now, what's the class that your friend usually plays?
um, she plays as an assassin class. Um,
Mhm.
basically, that's what we've chosen to play through the game at the very beginning together. And whenever we play the game, we have to play it together or whatever is the deal. She
Mhm.
chose assassin for her class, and I chose Gunzerker. And the assassin
Mhm.
class is pretty interesting. I actually just started using it the other day to test it out, and it's pretty
Mhm.
fun. The assassin's ability is the deception mode, which basically turns you invisible, and then you launch like a hologram of yourself, um, and the
Mhm.
enemies become drawn towards your hologram, and they'll start like messing with the hologram while you are invisible. You can sneak around and like melee them from behind and do like pretty like massive damage to them. So that's a pretty cool class.
Cool.
It also seems like I guess the assassin class has a skill tree for sniping, so it's good for like carrying a sniper rifle around for that class is probably the best thing to do. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I'd really like to try Borderlands at some point. I
mhm.
might be able to get that one soon. Um,
Yeah, it's really fun, and well, the good thing about it is that it's definitely a lot longer than the first game. It's almost seems like double the size of like the campaign is like twice as long it seems. So there's
mhm.
lots to do in that game. All kinds of different side missions and things, and
Yeah.
just all kinds of things.
Right. Well, I was gonna say, we're already at about 35 minutes, but I'm thinking about cutting the show kind of short, because, our next segment would usually be, like gaming news type of stuff, but, we really haven't been too much up on the gaming news as of late.
Mm.
All I could really say is that there's this game out right now that's been pretty hyped up on the internet called XCOM, but I really think Dishonored is the better game to choose.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I was looking at, we were looking at the IGN review videos earlier, and um, we basically had no knowledge of those games going in, and when we watched the reviews, it's definitely like the case is Dishonored seems to be the better game. It's
Yeah.
almost like BioShock, but it seems like
Mhm.
it gives your character a lot more freedom. There's all kinds of different spells and abilities that your character can learn, and you can either go through the game like messing everyone up and just like doing all kinds of crazy stuff, or you can even go through the game stealthily and not even kill anybody at all. The way the game
Right.
is,
Yeah,
so
you can just disarm enemies or knock them out and move about the game. And I saw that you can kind of teleport,
hmm
almost like a portal type of game.
yeah, and you can even like take control of like animals, like little rats running around. You can just like possess them, and then you can use them as little recon things
Mhm.
that run
Yeah,
around.
that would be a lot of fun to just possess a little rat, or maybe, I mean, it'd be awesome if you could possess like a bird or something and just fly around or just scurry around the map.
Yeah, Angry Birds. Yeah, that game would be fun. I really do want to try that game out, Dishonored, um, somehow, but that looks to be a lot better than XCOM.
Yeah.
Um,
It's seems like another one of those cases where there's these games, like certain games with probably a big advertising budget, and right now all over YouTube and IGN and Kotaku, they're all talking about XCOM, but that game looks fine. It's very much like a tactical kind of game, almost like Final Fantasy Tactics,
mhm.
or like you were saying, Valkyria Chronicles for PS3.
Yeah. Mhm.
But it really just seems overhyped.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that a game like a game like that in this modern age would it just seems too overhyped.
Yeah, it seems way too much of like a B budget move, like video
Yeah.
game. Like it doesn't really seem that great at all. I mean, there are some people that are into that kind of thing, but
hmm
it doesn't really look like a great game from just a technical standpoint. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't really.
it seems like people might like XCOM, but only if they played some old like PC version of it.
Yeah, if they're fans of it or fans of that type of gaming, then that's probably about it. But um, Dishonored seems more easily to be able to just pick up and play and get into that game.
hmm Yeah, I like how Dishonored really. It looks like it's a real like mashup of a lot of game styles
Yeah.
into one game, and it definitely looks like a game that would be worth your money. Like you could just hang out in the world and do all kinds of different stuff
hmm
depending on how you're feeling. Like the video review said, you can go
hmm
around just shooting people or just slaughtering people, or you teleport around and just
Yeah.
do like a chokehold on them or whatever,
Yeah, or you
and
can
not
like
actually
summon
kill
like
them.
rats to eat them, or do all kinds of different like spells to like take out your enemy, like all kinds of different things for you to do. It seems. And,
hmm
um, another thing I wanted to touch on before we get out of here or whatever,
Sure.
going back to Borderlands 2, they did release the Necromancer class now that came out October 9th, which is just a couple days ago. They have the new Necromancer class, which is basically like this little girl named, I think her name's Gage or something, but she can summon this, what they call a death trap, which is like this robot that can like
Cool.
it can hover around behind her, so she can basically summon this thing, and it can attack enemies for her, and it's pretty strong. Um, I got to see the Necromancer class from my online friend. She was using that class, and that thing was taking care of a lot of enemies without any problem. And it is almost like a nice beginner class, or like a easy win class, or something like that. But that
Yeah, I know there was some controversy. If I'm not mistaken, I think there was some controversy about that
hmm
DLC because someone at Gearbox, which is the game developer,
yeah.
someone at Gearbox posted a tweet and they called it girlfriend mode,
Yeah.
and that can be pretty controversial, I guess.
Yeah, and I think there's even like a girlfriend skill tree that character has that you can level up the different skills. I don't really know what the skills are in that skill tree, but it's like it seems pretty interesting. And
Hmm.
another thing, though, I've heard before that people have compared it to like Edward and Al from Full Metal Alchemist, because the girl, I guess, has like a robotic arm or like a metal arm, and then like she's like this small little girl, and then she can summon this big robot or whatever, you know. So it's almost like Edward and Al from Full Metal Alchemist, but it was just a funny little comparison that I've heard before. Um, but yeah, that came out. They're selling it in the form of a Premier Club thing, which basically
Hmm.
it gives you that class. It also gives you the starter gold guns that came with because this thing was for pre-orders or whatever. Um, so if you didn't pre-order it, you can buy it separately. But the pre-order came with this Necromancer class. It also came with these starter golden guns, which are basically just start you out in the beginning of the game. They become useless as you go further on in the story because they're pretty weak. But you get those guns, and you also get a golden key, which you can use to unlock this golden chest that's in the basically sanctuary, which is the hub of the game that you go to. You know, with all the shops and stuff like that. That's like your main place you go to like sell stuff and things like that. So there's a golden chest in that area that you can open if you have a golden key. And you can get it from this Premier Club pack. You get a golden key, and you can get some pretty cool guns out of that thing. Last night when I got to level 50, I had a golden key because I bought that Necromancer thing. So I used it when I was at level 50, and the guns that you get will be at your level. And since I hit the level cap, I got some pretty sweet ass guns out of that thing. And
Hmm.
so it's pretty awesome, that golden chest or whatever. But it's that's out now. The Necromancer uh, class. It's called the Premier Club Pass or whatever. But that's out now. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about is they just announced the first campaign DLC pack that's coming out.
Hmm.
It's called, let me see here, Captain Scarlet and Her Pirate's Booty, but it's supposed to be
Hmm.
like a pirate themed DLC that's coming out. There's not really, let's see, there's not really much about it, although they do say it's coming out October 16th.
Um,
Um,
Now, is it, I mean, since it's a campaign DLC, it's probably trying to either add an extra story or continue the story. So,
yeah, new story.
yeah. So, maybe they really wouldn't describe too much about it because they don't want to have spoilers for the story.
Mhm. Yeah, it's going to have it looks like a new area. It says
Hmm.
it's a
Cool.
resort by the ocean called Oasis, so there's going to be a new area that you can get. I don't know. It's not really mentioning anything about raising the level cap, so I don't know if it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna do that or not. But it is the first DLC out of the 4 planned DLCs that are coming out. Um, if you own the season pass, if you went ahead and bought that, then you have complete access to this already. So I bought the season pass when I got Borderlands 2, so I have this DLC already. Once it comes out, I'll have it for free. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll be able to play that. But this is the first out of the 4 planned DLCs that are coming with the season pass. Um, so that's pretty much it about that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'd say, 'cause we're already at about 46 minutes,
Yeah, that ain't that
which
bad.
is a pretty, yeah, it's a pretty hefty show already. Um, I know we looked at a little bit of SimCity. There's a new one for
Hmm.
PC and whatever else it'll be for.
That looks
It looks
amazing.
pretty, yeah, it looks pretty good. Um, but yeah, honestly, I'd rather not go too much into it. Um, we don't want to really stretch the show out too long.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know if you're all right with that. I'm gonna close the show.
Yeah, I know we didn't really. I know I said earlier that we would talk about Monster Hunter 3.
Hmm.
There really isn't too much to talk about with that, other than that they're coming out with Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is what it's called. It's going to be coming out on the 3DS and the Wii U, and I think it's basically just like I don't know if it's a completely new Monster Hunter game or if they're like kind of remaking Monster Hunter 3, but I
Mm-hmm.
saw a trailer for it, and they were showing off like for the Wii U, and it looked really awesome. And apparently, there's going to be like connectivity with the Wii U and the 3DS version, and you can like swap your saves over from each version. But that looks really fun, and I really plan on getting that, and I hope more people get that as well. If they get the Wii U,
Yeah,
that way I
the
can
the
play online with
Wii,
people.
yeah, the Wii U, and I mean, wow, it'd be awesome on 3DS as well. But
Hmm.
you know, those Nintendo does need a good online multiplayer game, and I think Monster Hunter would probably be that game.
Yep.
Yeah, so suppose we will close the show.
All right.
So, anyways, I guess if you want to send any feedback to the show, there's jennercatshow@gmail.com. That's GENERCATSHOW@gmail.com. Right now, I'm just posting the show to my YouTube, which is youtube.com/TaroKun182. And yeah, so if you want to send any feedback, you can figure it out.
Hmm.
We'll sort things out more, and of course, there's also the Facebook
Yeah,
account.
there's the Facebook Generation Catalano podcast on Facebook. You'll
Yeah.
want to look for that. It's under entertainment, but go there, check out the Facebook page. We'll be posting some of the stuff that we've talked about on this episode on there. Also, make sure
Mhm.
you like our page because we want to get more people to like that thing and check us out. And
Right.
there'll be,
Yeah.
if you like our page, you'll be, up to date on all the things that we do on there. So don't just go on
Yeah.
there and like
And
our pictures. I mean, we like that you like our pictures. There's everybody. It seems like we get a lot of likes for our Halo 4 pics. And we appreciate that, but we would like you to also like our page while you're,
mhm.
checking it out. So, make, make,
Yeah, it's true that it's a good way to really for the listeners to kind of they can they have control over this show. It's all about the listeners, and
hmm.
if you guys go on our Facebook and you like certain things, then we're more likely to talk about those things
Exactly.
on our show. And of course, you can even go ahead and post links to news stories and such, and we'll probably talk about them
Yeah,
on the show.
definitely.
You know, we're always trying to figure out what the hell we're going to talk about. So,
Hmm.
you know, anyone who actually checks out that page, like, go right ahead, you know, share everything you want to share to
Yeah.
that page.
The Generation Catalano podcast page. I know there's two different ones on there. There's Generation Catalano, and then there's Generation Catalano podcast. The one with the podcast is the one you want. So,
Yeah. So yeah. So that's the end of this episode. It's so
mhm.
yeah. So you know, make sure to check us out online
All right.
and everything. And yeah, we're gonna end the show now.
All
And
right. So
we're
it's
gonna
been a
do
good
the
show.
countdown. Yeah, I think so.
Yep.